Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CISM Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. The COBIT framework, which stands for Control Objectives for Information and Related Technology, was developed by ISACA to help organizations govern and manage enterprise IT effectively. From its earliest versions to the current iteration, COBIT has always aimed to align IT goals with business objectives. It emphasizes three foundational pillars: value creation, risk management, and resource optimization. These principles make COBIT a key framework for organizations looking to turn IT into a strategic enabler rather than simply a service provider. COBIT is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology, governance practices, and business expectations, ensuring it remains relevant in fast-evolving environments. Used by organizations around the world, COBIT is considered a comprehensive framework for enterprise governance, not just for IT departments but for organizations as a whole. It offers a structure for aligning processes, roles, controls, and strategy in a cohesive governance system. CSM professionals benefit from understanding COBIT's architecture and principles, especially as they relate to integrating security into larger IT and business frameworks. With increasing scrutiny on accountability and oversight, COBIT's structured approach is invaluable for demonstrating control maturity and strategic alignment. At the core of COBIT is a structural model that distinguishes between governance and management objectives. This structure is what gives the framework its clarity and depth. The framework is organized into multiple domains, each of which contains processes and activities mapped to specific objectives. The governance domain, called EDM, which stands for Evaluate, Direct, and Monitor, focuses on setting direction and engaging stakeholders at the strategic level. Management domains include APO for Align, Plan, and Organize, BAI for Build, Acquire, and Implement, DSS for Deliver, Service, and Support, and MIA for Monitor, Evaluate, and Assess. Governance objectives in COBIT are focused on stakeholder needs and strategic alignment. They ensure that leadership is actively involved in setting priorities, defining risk appetite, and monitoring outcomes. Management objectives deal with the day-to-day execution of activities, including how resources are managed, how services are delivered, and how risks are identified and mitigated. COBIT supports performance management through tools like maturity models, capability levels, and goal cascades. These tools allow organizations to assess current state and define realistic, measurable improvements. Several principles underpin COBIT's design. One principle is the need to meet stakeholder needs by aligning governance goals with the broader objectives of the organization. Another principle emphasizes enterprise-wide coverage, meaning COBIT is designed to apply not just to IT, but across the entire business. It supports an integrated approach, consolidating various standards and best practices into a single, coherent framework. This includes references to ISO, NIST, and other commonly used governance models. COBIT also enables a holistic governance system by incorporating various enablers including people, processes, structures, information, culture, and services. This means that rather than focusing only on technology or procedures, COBIT looks at how all aspects of the organization must work together to support governance goals. A final principle that is especially important for CISM professionals is the clear separation of governance from management. This separation helps avoid confusion, ensures that accountability is appropriately distributed, and reinforces the different roles played by strategic leaders versus operational managers. The five main domains within COBIT each cover a major area of governance or management. The EDM domain provides strategic oversight, including how the organization sets objectives, engages stakeholders, and monitors progress. The APO domain includes planning and organization activities like enterprise architecture, risk management, and resource alignment. The BAI domain focuses on building and acquiring solutions. This includes change management, system development, and integration of new technology into existing environments. The DSS domain covers service delivery, security operations, and incident handling. It ensures that controls are consistently applied and that services meet agreed-upon performance levels. Finally, the MEA domain focuses on evaluating performance, ensuring compliance, and delivering assurance. This domain supports both internal assessments and external audits by defining how effectiveness is measured. Together, these 5 domains represent a full life cycle of governance, from planning to monitoring, giving organizations a comprehensive approach to managing IT and security. Within COBIT, the governance system consists of key components that work together to deliver outcomes. Enablers such as organizational structures, culture, workflows, and information support the proper functioning of each process. These enablers are not standalone with one another, meaning that weaknesses in one area can reduce the effectiveness of the whole system. For example, even the best technical controls may fail if roles and responsibilities are unclear, or if culture discourages accountability. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Performance management tools within COBIT help assess maturity and capability levels. These tools include predefined criteria for evaluating how well governance and management objectives are being met. COBIT also includes design factors that influence how the framework is tailored. These factors include enterprise strategy, goals, compliance needs, industry sector, size, and geographic footprint. Organizations are expected to adjust the framework to fit their unique environment while maintaining adherence to core principles. COBIT also includes focus areas, such as digital transformation, cybersecurity, or privacy, that allow organizations to zoom in on high-priority topics. These focus areas guide the selection and implementation of processes relevant to specific organizational goals. Framework tailoring is a significant strength of COBIT. Rather than requiring one-size-fits-all adoption, it supports customization while maintaining coherence. For CISM professionals, this flexibility allows integration of COBIT with existing policies and operational realities. From a security governance perspective, COBIT provides clear value. It maps IT and security processes to governance objectives, ensuring that security activities are strategically aligned rather than isolated. It supports accountability through detailed role and responsibility definitions, making it easier to assign ownership and monitor outcomes. The framework integrates risk, compliance, and performance into a single governance model. This allows security leaders to address multiple stakeholder concerns simultaneously. COBIT also supports executive communication. Because it translates complex technical processes into business-oriented objectives, it helps security professionals explain priorities in a language executives understand. It supports control definition by offering a structured way to design, implement, and validate controls. Assurance alignment is another benefit. COBIT is frequently used as a reference during external audits, internal assessments, and regulatory reviews. Its clarity and structure reduce ambiguity and simplify reporting. COBIT is also useful for aligning risk and control activities. It links business risk objectives, such as service availability or data confidentiality, to specific IT control requirements. This supports a proactive approach to risk management, allowing security teams to identify gaps before they become issues. COBIT facilitates gap analysis by mapping current processes against desired outcomes. The structure of governance and management activities makes it easier to identify weak areas and prioritize improvements. Risk appetite is also defined within the enterprise context using COBIT. The framework encourages leadership to articulate how much risk is acceptable, where trade-offs will occur, and how mitigation will be measured. It supports prioritization by focusing on business value, regulatory requirements, and strategic goals. COBIT is also designed to align with external assurance models. This includes third-party audits, certifications, and industry benchmarks. Organizations that use COBIT are often better positioned to demonstrate compliance and accountability. Implementing COBIT in a security program starts with assessing current governance maturity and understanding stakeholder expectations. Maturity assessments help organizations determine where they are and what changes are needed to reach target performance. Design factors such as business model, risk profile, and industry sector should guide how the framework is tailored. The next step is defining performance metrics for governance and management objectives. These metrics allow the organization to measure progress, identify weaknesses, and adjust course as needed. Once metrics are in place, COBIT roles must be embedded into the organizational structure. This means identifying who owns each process, who is responsible for oversight, and how reporting lines support escalation and decision-making. Feedback loops are essential. Continuous monitoring, audits, and process reviews provide the data needed to refine the framework. A successful implementation is not one that is completed quickly, it is one that supports ongoing performance and evolves with the organization. Adopting COBIT offers several benefits. It improves strategic alignment between security and business goals. It enhances accountability by clarifying who does what and why. It introduces measurable performance standards, enabling maturity-based evolution. Unlike one-time compliance projects, COBIT supports a continuous improvement mindset. It also helps security become part of enterprise-wide decision-making, rather than operating in isolation. However, COBIT adoption is not without challenges. The framework is complex, and successful implementation requires a deep understanding of its components. Cross-functional engagement is necessary. Security cannot implement COBIT alone. Training and education are essential to ensure that all stakeholders understand their roles. Executive commitment is also required. Without leadership support, efforts to embed COBIT may stall due to lack of resources or authority. Maintaining COBIT-based governance requires ongoing effort. Governance priorities must be reassessed regularly to ensure alignment with strategy and risk. Processes and metrics should be adjusted in response to changes in business objectives, emerging threats, or regulatory requirements. Periodic reviews of maturity levels help track progress and identify areas for improvement. COBIT is also a valuable tool for supporting audit readiness. It provides the documentation, accountability, and traceability auditors expect. Most importantly, COBIT must be treated as a living framework. It should be embedded into the security strategy lifecycle and revisited during strategic planning, program reviews, and performance evaluations. By continuously evolving and aligning COBIT with the business, security leaders can ensure long-term value, resilience, and governance excellence. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cyber CISM Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.